this is indeed a great opportunity for us to learn how Motorola Solutions has expanded and grown its operations in India and in other emerging markets. We would like to understand here, how did you evolve to become category leaders in providing visibility to your clients in terms of their assets, their people, data capture and mobility?
You know, we have a few pillars to our foundation. One is we are very specific on domain. We go and learn industries, be it retail, be it transportation, be it manufacturing or public safety. So our engineers or innovators spend time in the customer environment, not pushing technology, but trying to understand the business processes and what the mobile workers are trying to do. So that is the foundation of Motorola, what Motorola does. With an 85-year-old history of innovating, you know, the saying internally is, Neil Armstrong, we knew how to put the man on the moon, but for the man on the moon to talk back to Earth, NASA came to Motorola, and Neil Armstrong spoke over Motorola radio. And that's essentially the DNA of Motorola. We look at business processes, we understand the customer's environment, and we back into the best way we can push the technology boundaries to adapt to a customer's operations. Anything you'd like to add, Bob?
I would just say in terms of historically how we've grown the business over time, the enterprise piece of Motorola started with barcode scanning technology. And again, back to Girish's point, it was about how to improve business process. In this case, it was at the point of sale at a retail, how to move people through lines faster, how to capture inventory in real time. And so we started with barcode scanning technology, and over time, as we were connecting barcode scanners to POS terminals, it became obvious that we could improve inventory operations out on the floor as well. So we evolved from discrete barcode scanners connected to cash registers to creating mobile computers with integrated barcode scanners, so that same advantage, that same productivity could be extended out onto the store floor. And in the early days, that was done in a batch environment. Someone would work a full shift and go in the back room and connect up to a computer and upload that information. And it became very obvious very quickly that if that task could be done in real time vis-a-vis radio technology, it would be even that much more productive. And so we migrated from barcode scanning into mobile computing, into real-time mobile computing, vis-a-vis the creation of wireless local area networks. And it's a little bit of the history in terms of how we've gotten to where we are today.
Thank you for that insight. So moving on, how do we understand the differences in the India market? If we were to look at the retail space, how do we understand the differences in terms of requirements for visibility relating to assets, people, and data capture? If you were to juxtapose the opportunity in India with the opportunity in the West.
There are common worldwide, and Bob and I will share some of those with you. On-time available inventory in a retail store is as much a requirement in Nagpur or Indore or Bangalore or Bombay as it is in Beijing or London or New York. So that's the basic of retailing. If you have a retail store, you want to have goods on the shelf, items on the shelf that caters to your local customer base. And what we enable is visibility and movement of those assets. And that's the main thesis of what we deliver to our retail customers. Why don't we get some input from Bob on more color on that, and then I'll come back and tell you the nuances that we are seeing in India that are very specific to India.
At the crux of retail is ensuring that you have the merchandise that an individual is looking for, right place, right time. To do that and do that appropriately, one needs to know what's on the shelf, what's in the back room, what's further back in the logistics supply chain. And we provide the technology that enables that visibility to occur so that customers are satisfied when they come into the store and they become loyal to that particular retail shop, and in turn that helps drive top and bottom line.
Let me share two nuances that we are seeing in India, and we don't have all the answers, Dr. Raghunath, and that's why coming to the Indian Institute of Management Bangalore talking to you or engaging the gentleman, K. Subramanian, who heads our India operations, who's an IIM Bangalore alumni, is very enriching. So two examples would be, in the West, most cases, reducing labor rates and moving labor out is an accepted return on investment. In India, because of the social construct, reducing labor is not always a positive outcome for the retailer who's serving the community. And we don't have the best answers on that. And we need to understand the nuances here. Although we serve all the retailers here, how do we improvise while we still keep the employment up? The second nuance is what we have seen on the other parts of the world, demographically, either the mother or the father, one of them, are the primary buyers in retail. In India, what we have seen is couples going to a grocery store or couples going to shopping before Diwali or Eid or Christmas and jointly making decision on buying is a cultural nuance that we try to understand. If I look at my parents, I never remember my mom going shopping by herself, either for saris or for grocery. So how does the social construct where a couple goes together and makes small decisions on grocery buying or larger home buying, and how should retailers appeal to it? And how should our technologies that help retailers bring goods to the shelf or helps in decision making for customers to buy, how should those be catered with kiosks, with customer facing solutions? I think is an area of innovation that we are investing here locally to develop on software platforms, on sensor platforms that sit in our technology base. So that's, I think, a good healthy combination of bring the best that we have learned in other parts of the world, West, but then innovate locally through K. Subramanian's team so that we can cater to our customers locally.
If I may ask, what role do you see going forward for the India subsidiary of Motorola Solutions? And how important is that role vis-a-vis other subsidiaries that you have?
Dr. Raghunath, it's a competitive world. We have design centers in Eastern Europe and China and other places. That said, the India Design Center is the only design center in the world where the major business units that we have, all of them sit under one roof. We do data capture, barcode scanning, radio frequency identification. We do mobile computing for mobile workers in different industries. We do wireless local area networking. And then we have targeted software, application software. So as I said, the India Design Center is the only design center in the world where all those capabilities and development teams sit under one roof. So what we are seeing is the osmosis of these teams working together are creating new propositions that we don't see from other design centers because of the construct of it. And from that standpoint, it's very strategic. Our design center in India has grown incrementally over the last 15 years or so. We have added capabilities. We have expanded local partnerships here with companies like Texas Instruments and Qualcomm and Intel and Microsoft and others. We have customers like Tesco who have local development teams. We have partners like SAP who are sitting in this ecosystem in the Bangalore area. So to get that chemistry in other parts of the world is very difficult. So to have all our business units in one roof, to have these ecosystem partners literally across the street, to have customers development teams locally, it drives a chemistry that is very unique, that is very exciting. And we are very proud of our employees here in Bangalore. We have some of the lowest attrition rates in the local market. They're very innovative. The reason we are here this time of the year, which we come every year, it's a pilgrimage, Dr. Raghunath, is our local team under the leadership of K. Subramanian holds a 2-day event where they show innovation items that they have created without any direction. So this is teams themselves coming up with ideas, not looking for any external funding, and coming up this time with 40 different ideas that we get to see, demos, solutions, and many of those make it into mainstream products. So as competitive as global design centers are, and the team in India will have to step up and deliver and be more productive, this chemistry is the uniqueness that draws people like myself and my colleague Bob Sanders, who are here with a dozen other people this time of the year.
So how do you see the complementarity of the Indian subsidiary vis-a-vis other subsidiaries that you have in your group, and how do you see their role going forward?
There's a high degree of complementarity because the team in India, by definition, has to work across the globe with their counterparts in New York, in San Jose, in other parts of the world. They have to have the same design tools and capabilities. They need to speak the same language. So there's a tremendous amount of complementarity. In terms of how I see things transitioning in the future, I see our Indian subsidiary taking on more of an end-to-end holistic approach. I see them driving more of our designs from start to finish, as opposed to today where there can be a handoff, if you will. Something is started in one part of the world and it might be finished in this part of the world. I think there's benefit and I think there's leverage to be gained by virtue of the maturity of this team that now understands not only the technology but how our products are used in market, and they have the capability therefore to take that product literally from concept all the way through execution.
I'm very pleased to be here. Indian Institute of Management Bangalore is the top school in India but also in the world. So it's a privilege to be here, and thank you very much for your kindness to invite us.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Mr. Girish and Mr. Sanders, for your time and your excellent insights.